All right, joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Ajay Sahai. He is the DG CEO of FIEO. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to Republic and joining us here this afternoon. How do you think the recent imposition and the kicking in of tariff is going to have an effect on the trade talks that is being held by India and the United States? Do you think it is going to be a deterrent, or is India going to sail through the sea?
In fact, I think that the way India is engaged with the US, we are not giving any sign to the US that we are not willing to negotiate. US team was supposed to come to India in the third week of August. They have postponed the visit. We are constructively engaged with the US. Black office diplomacy is working. India has also continued its business with the US. Yesterday only we have finalized $1 billion deal for the US. So from our side, we are open, and I'm also looking into that. When the two leadership met, they have looked into a deadline of the end of the fall of 2025 for the VTA. We still have few months to go, and we are confident that within these 2 months' time, we may be able to clinch a deal also.
Right, sir. So also as far as Donald Trump is concerned, and like you said, the trade talks will not have a major effect, but what are the kind of sectors that will be affected as far as this trade tariff, the trade tirade is concerned on India? Because India has amply made it clear that the interest of our farmers, that the interest of our nation is paramount.
In fact, if you look into totality, roughly 55% of our total export to the US is getting impacted. Balance 45%, including pharma, mobile phone, and petroleum product, they are in the exempted list. Aluminium, copper, steel have a uniform tariff of 50%, so we are having the level playing field. Our concern is with the 55% of the total export to the tune of around $47-48 billion. 6 months have already gone. We have front loading of exports also, which will provide a high inventory for few months. We can live with that kind of situation. But some of the segments like apparel, textile, footwear, the marine products, carpets, handicraft, chemicals, plastics, they are expected to take a hit at least in the short term. In medium to long term, we are looking into the possibility of the new market. Government is also looking into having an early harvest with the European Union, which is as big a market for us as the US, and we are also looking into the domestic market. At this point of time, our priority is that while we are ready to get a hit in our export to the US, our priority is that it should not result in having some adverse impact on the company. The cash flows of the company is, of course, an issue for us, and therefore we are approaching the government to provide easy liquidity to those exporters who are focusing more on the US. It can be in form of some kind of moratorium on the term loan, both principal and interest. It can be an enhancement in the credit limit for those exporters. It can be a kind of collateral-free lending, which we have witnessed during the COVID time. Because our priority should be that because of these developments, companies should not fall into NPA, because this is something which is completely extraneous, nothing to do with the performance of the company. At the same time, we also have to see that the industry is able to retain the labor, because if the business is going, it becomes difficult for them to retain the labor. Our view is that this period can also be constructively used by the industry for the reskilling and upskilling of the labor. Government has some of the skilling scheme also. If funds can be provided to that, it will lessen the burden on the industry also. Worker can be gainfully employed, because if the worker goes back, probably getting the worker when the business comes to India will be a challenge. We are treating this as a temporary problem, and therefore our priority should be to look into the liquidity challenge and look into the welfare of workers at this point of time.
Right, sir. Thank you very much for joining us here on Republic and sharing your views on that. Meanwhile, the United States President Donald Trump recently